What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome to my channel, Steel Forge and Fire Sword and Knife. This is Joe. Glad to see everybody in the chat room here today. So let's go around the room here. So we got Samurai Bird front and center, my Kadana Land Bamboo Man. Bird is in the house. The bird is the word, don't you know? See you guys having a conversation without me. How could you? So we were talking about the weather. We're talking about, a couple different things I can see here while you guys are wasting time here, waiting for me to get my ass on. So you got Garen. What's up, Garen? What's up, Pete? How you doing, Pete? Good morning, Pete. And I know you have your coffee, and I have my coffee with you there, buddy. So coffee's any time of the day for me. Steve Borg. What's up, Steve? I know it's cold in your parts right now. You got the fire burning. Nicey nice. Who else do we got? No, that's me. All right, so hopefully we get a couple more people in the room who basically prompted me into kind of making up this video. I know Eric Hussein is kind of working right now. He's texting me back and forth and see if he could get out and maybe join the chat a little bit more. Who else is in the room? I think I pretty much. Who else do we got? Chat. Serpenta? Is that how you pronounce it? Serpta. Serpta. Oh, Serp. I'll call you Serp. What's up, Serp? How you doing, bud? Welcome into the room. Welcome everybody into the room. So basically, I know people are going to be watching this after. Eric, I know you're in there somewhere. You're kind of going back and forth from work to the chat and everything like that. Welcome, Eric. Hopefully, I get Eric 117 in here. Maybe I'll get Scab in here, and but we'll go on with the show as it is. First and foremost, since we are doing a live show, can you guys hear me okay? Can you see me okay? I mean, if you can't see me, that's not a big tragedy. But as long as you can hear me okay, audio is good, everything is good. You know, live shows and technical errors and technical difficulties and all that. Can you all hear me okay? And I'll get it started. So let me know. Somebody comment. How you guys hearing me? Anybody listening to me? All good. All right, sir. Thanks, buddy. Just waiting for somebody to tell me they're hearing me okay. So we got a couple knife guys in here, but this is a sword segment. But we'll definitely address some knives. I got a shopping cart full of some knives that I want to display for you guys, and it's actually a company I've never dealt with before. So maybe at some point during the program, I'll definitely show you this knife company. I think their prices are pretty damn good. Thanks, Steve. Loud and clear. I hear you, man. Everything is good here. Excellent. So I'm going to be going through like a lot of screen shares here to go through a couple different companies in terms of the katana purchases. I mean, this is, after all, a katana purchase workshop. Now, what prompted me to get this going was a video I made of True Katana and my first experience with True Katana. So, with that video, well, what I did was what I came across. I came across True Katana. I wanted to try and order two of their swords that were along the level of the type of katana that I'm looking for in terms of the fit and finish, you know, the steel and this and the other thing. So there was like some kind of a big Labor Day sale, so they had a big discount. But these particular swords were retailing and are retailing now. What's up, Megatron? How you doing, buddy? Grugs in the room. What's up, Grugs? Um, they were retailing for around $400. Now, as we get into the video, we're going to talk about certain price ranges that are would promote for a better quality katana. And just as a heads up, we're going to be talking about the $400 price range as far as being a very well made katana, or should be a very well made katana. So I picked up these two katana at True Katana for around $400. I thought they were pretty much what I'm looking for. It was, to be honest, it was very difficult for me to find what I liked because True Katana is more of a, I don't know how to describe it. It's just very bling bling, very gaudy, and it's more of too over embellished, too gaudy, too over embellished as far as my taste. So it's very hard for me to actually consolidate down to two of them that I liked or seem to like from the pictures. They do have a nice display and all that. Love you too, Meg. You know that. And So I know it. Long story short, I digress. Picked up these two katana. They came in fairly quick, about a week and a half or so. Delivery was pretty fast. They probably make a stock load of these things and kind of just send them out and all that. So I picked them up, and anyone who has seen my video, you can see my discontent rather, with these two pieces. And it's not more for the katana themselves; it's more for whatever they're priced at, the price category that they're putting them at, and what you're actually getting for that price point. Now, if these katana were $100, $150, $200 even, I would be like, okay, that's what you're getting for that price. It's they look nice, but I was looking at them as $400 katana, and I was expecting something better because I have katana in the high twos, threes, and fours, and I know what the market is like. Okay, again, I don't want to get into that video, but obviously I put them through the test. I broke them down, and I took them apart, and I was very unhappy with the quality of these swords at that price range. So I made the video up. Now, as the video was airing, and really of late, I have gotten maybe 5 or 6 questions in a row, or comments rather, and they're all asking exactly the same thing. Where can I go to find a quality katana? What price range should I shop at to get a quality katana? And there's so many questions that arise from that because it's not an easy comment to answer because there's so many variables involved in terms of answering those questions. You need to know what you need them for, what you're doing with them. Rusty Knife Lover, what's up, Rusty? Hi, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us here. And you have to kind of ask many questions and cover a lot of ground before you can answer that correctly. So I figured, with all these questions I was getting and a lot of desperate people out there looking for a katana and not knowing where to start, what price range to look at, I wanted to kind of bring those questions to a live, and that's what prompted me kind of making up this live video. And I wanted to invite you guys into the room to have a conversation because listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm the ultimate expert in purchasing katana. To be honest with you, I started getting into so I've been into katana and swords all my life, but I started seriously getting into katana. I know it says blade talk, guys. It's not blade talk. I just like the hat. So if you don't like that, I could just turn it around this way. So so but it's not blade talk. Not today. Not today. Scab is not in the room today. Um, yes, Samurai Bear, Jakku. I'll get to that, buddy. Get to that. Stop jumping the gun. So basically, I lost train of thought. So that's what prompted me into doing this video. I'm not a professional, okay, by any sense, in terms of purchasing katana. I only started this about a year and a half ago, pretty much when I started the channel, as far as really being serious about collecting and buying katana and reviewing them and all that. So it hasn't really been that long, but in that period of time, I really did learn a lot. I've done a lot of research. I've dealt with many different companies, and like I said, through my research and seeing other people's purchases, and I was glad to also have Matthew Jensen, in terms of having great conversations with him and being exposed to so many of his videos as we all have. And he's definitely a great resource in terms of this topic. You should definitely be taking a seat too with me. Um, so I'm going to try to share with you some experiences I had with certain companies. And generally, I've had some good experiences. I mean, I would say I had more good experiences than bad. And the bad experiences I had, the companies were able to kind of correct the problems and we moved on from there. So I'll go through all the websites I have here. I'm going to do some screen shares, and then we're going to go through a couple different recommended sword makers or smiths or stores that you can actually go into to get it started. But before we get into that, I actually want to go back. I know I put out, if you've seen it, I put out 2 polls, okay, where you can vote certain. I asked some questions and I put out some polls so you can kind of vote what would be the best possible answer for your individual needs or uses or likes or dislikes and all that. So, um, how many do you have now, Joe? Serp. I, you know what? I sell. I buy and I sell, and I also get a lot. I get swords, for review. So I get some swords from review. So I usually end up giving those away or doing something else with them. But I think currently I mean, I to be honest with you, I have about four four swords that I'm still waiting for them to be finished and come in, and I'll get to that in in the video in this live. So without the swords that are having to come in, probably have about um, eight solid katana. Not that much, because like I said, at one point I had 15, at one point I had 10, and another point I had 12. It's just I kind of just revolve around giving them away or sell them or do whatever I need to do with them. So, but I have a good solid about eight, seven, eight swords right now. I would say. I'm not counting the true katana because I'm going to do a destruction test on them, but I'll get to that as well. Um, so let's get to the poll because I'm going to share the screen here because it's pretty interesting what came up out of the poll. I knew what the answers were going to be. It was kind of like a just one of those things where I know what people are going to answer, but I was very curious to see how many people would not answer what I think is would be the best possible answer for this poll question. So let me actually share that screen and I'll talk it over with you as well. Samurai Bird, you got a couple things there. Bohayu, you got seven Bohayu. You got a lot of Bohayus, huh? Seven, three Jakku, three Ryan swords, one Bohayu. You got a lot of swords there, Samurai Bird. Fantastic. Yeah, I kind of just I try not to hold on to a lot of them. Also, I got like a space issue, so I like to be able to have the amount of swords that I can kind of display in my current racks. And if I can't display them and I have to kind of put them in a closet, I'd rather not have them. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But between swords and knives, I got a lot. Now the bowies, the knives, and all that. I got piles of crap everywhere. I couldn't call them crap. I love this stuff. So let's share this screen with you here. Hold on, let me just do my voodoo here. Okay, let's share that. All right, can you guys see that okay? So actually, let me make it full screen if I can and get my face off of here so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so here are the polls that I put together. This is, let's go with the first one here. So you notice this here, Katana Friends. Okay, so what I had asked was, hold on. Please check one of the following when you generally perceive. Okay, please check one of the following. The price you generally perceive as a quality made katana for most people and users of katana for tamashigiri practice cutting and not collectors. Okay, so without surprise, many people basically said a katana in the 300 to 500 price point is good for most people and users of katana for specifically tamashigiri cutting, not collectors. About 15% said katana in the 600 to 800 price point. Katana in the 1,000 and up, 8%. No surprise there, because again, 1,000 is not for most users. Okay, that's for a very specific crowd that just are looking to have the best kind of shit money, and it doesn't matter to them to get $1,000 katana. And these people that are going to get into this $1,000 katana, not really going to be looking to use it because unless they just have that kind of money and they're looking to do, to get something like that. But uh, you also have the really the professional practitioners that just or the senseis that really would like to have the best of the best in terms of a well-made katana that they can practice with and show off in their dojos. So they might actually use it, but no heavy cutting with tamashigiri. I can't see that really happening as much. And then you have the katana in the 100 price point, which is about 19%, which is pretty high. And that would seem to tell me that most people say that for most users, a katana in the $100 price point would probably be the best alternative or the best choice. And that definitely makes sense. That definitely makes sense because $100 price point is definitely as a sweet spot in terms of a katana, especially if you're looking to start out and all that. So it doesn't so the two highest percentages are the katana in the 300 to 500 at 58%, and the katana in the $100 price point at 19%. So pretty much no surprise there. So let me just get to the other poll here. So now I had asked also, what is your individual reasoning for purchasing a Japanese style katana? Please choose what comes closest to your preference below and comment of what you like to see in my live. Okay. So for most people, it's all right. So it definitely was more than one of the above, which I knew that was definitely going to be the answer. Okay, but 13% said for aesthetic reasons. Okay, so that's pretty high. 8% for dojo. So I guess not a lot of people basically viewed this poll, but a lot of people do purchase for their dojo. But then again, the schools tell them exactly what's again, and sometimes they sell them to them, or they provide it for them, but all that. But 8% seems fine. For Thomas Shigiri, only 8%. That's surprising. That's actually surprising, but that's probably because they said more than one of the above. But then you have just because katana weapons are cool, we came in at 23%. So that's kind of something I threw in as a comic relief, but that makes sense. Okay. So 49% more than the above. So that would lead me to think that it's probably for aesthetic reasons and maybe for also Thomas Shigiri cutting or one combination of the above. So it's just pretty interesting, kind of making up these polls as far as um, what people are thinking, and it helped me to kind of organize this live. I made some notes, I put together some websites and all that, and it kind of helped me out in kind of organizing this thing. So let me go back to the chat room. Let me see what's going on here. Can you get a good Grug said, can you get a good sword for a grand for a G? Yeah, absolutely. You could get a wonderful sword for 1,000. You could actually get, if you really wanted an old sword, if you wanted to get a traditional Nihanto, you can get one in the secondhand market. Well, obviously it's a secondhand market, but you could get it on some eBay sellers. You could find a traditional Nihanto, a real new, traditional Nihanto, a real Nihanto, back from maybe like the World War II. Retrievals that they have there, that there's so many thousands of them in the markets, flooded in the marketplace, that are constantly changing hands. You could probably get one for about 1,000, but a new sword for 1,000, definitely, without a doubt, you could get actually a really nice sword, a nice Hanwei. You could probably get into a Citadel. I think it's more in the 2,000 price range, but you could definitely get a really wonderful sword for 1,000 price range. That's part of the more higher end type of market. You know, more of the time. Oh, the Greens, Colin, Gene are in the room. Oh, what's up, Johnsons? Kayla and Gene, thanks for joining me, guys. I don't know who I'm talking to, Gene or Kayla or both. Welcome, guys. So, basically, listen, a lot of people are going to be watching this. I'm hoping I was getting to the people in the room that had asked me the question that kind of prompted me to kind of making up this video, who were asking those questions. Hopefully they'll join us, but I'm sure they'll see this on the reruns. So the first thing you have to ask yourself, guys, what do you want a katana for? Do you want the katana just to basically say you have one because you think they're mad cool? Do you want to just put it on a mantle for home decor type of thing? Just something that looks good, that looks good from afar or from close or from holding it. So if you want it for aesthetic purposes, guys, you can pretty much get anything. Then you can probably shop at True Kadana if you like this over embellished stuff, and you could probably get something from there. You can get them from any manufacturer. You pick your price point, and you can pretty much get whatever you want. Okay. If you're just going to look to display it, you get the color scheme that you want. You get the type of fittings, the Ito wrap, the color, everything about it. You get to what you like about it. You could get a matching 3 set. Put it into a 3 sword stand like I have there. And for aesthetic reasons, you could pretty much get anything. You pick your price range that you want to stay in, and you get whatever you want. Okay. So the sky's the limit for you in terms of aesthetic purposes. Okay. If you're looking to purchase a katana for real use, okay, if you're looking to get it for real use. Now, what I say by real use is not as a weapon, of course, guys, but if you're looking to actually practice with it, if you're part of a dojo, if you're studying the martial arts, you definitely want to get a very good fit and finish sword, and that's what you're looking for at a certain price range. If you're looking for a katana to actually use, okay, if you want to use it for backyard cutting shenanigans, you want to cut up bottles, you want to cut up pumpkins for Halloween, you want to cut up some of Samurai Bird's bamboo, okay, you want to hack at things in your backyard with it, then you definitely want to get something a little better quality, or not, because as a starting point, and especially if you're learning to use a katana and you've never held one in your hand before, I don't think you should go into like a $400 or $500 price point. You should definitely get into a price range in the like $100 mark or $100 to $200 mark, whereas you can go in, kind of, we call them beater swords. I'm sure you guys know what beater swords are. I want an all-around sword. Looks functionality. I bought a Shiness. Listen, the Shiness is a good sword. I can't speak very good about the company. Neo One, thanks for joining me, buddy. Early custom build swords. Thanks for the compliments, bud. Yeah, I really do a lot of research, and I think long and hard before I kind of pick my fittings and put my swords together. I have a certain look that I start with that I want, and I try to use whatever is at my disposal with the company I'm dealing with, like Jakku, and I try to build something to kind of go with the look of the specific sword project that I'm working on. And most of the time, if I don't find something I'm looking for, I ask them, and if they have something like that, I can kind of mix and match and do some a la carte, change some things around, and that's how I came up with the swords that I came up with. But thank you for the compliment, Neo, and appreciate that. Um, so beater swords are definitely something you want to start with. Now, let me actually go to my screen here and let me show you some starter swords that you should get into. But you know what? We don't want to get this excuse me, get this too detailed. Need some water. We don't want to get this too detailed because we can make this live go in many different ways. So we're going to be very, sort of generalized here for the most part. Now, you also want to, with the beater swords, you're getting a certain type of steel. Most predominantly, you're getting 1045 carbon steel, which is it's not a very high carbon content. I'm not going to educate you what high carbon content means to blades. I'm sure a lot of you know about that. Better edge retention, better strength, durability, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. 1045 steel is pretty much what comes into like the beater swords. Once in a while, you'll also get 1060, which is very good steel. 1060 is very good steel for a sword. And a lot of these Chinese forges are very, very good at heat tempering 1060. They're professionals at working with 1060, probably more than anything else. Okay. So 1060 you're very safe with. 1045 and 1060 are very safe steels. Okay. So that's probably what you're going to get into the realm of the beater swords. Now, what I found with the beater swords, okay, you want to go into Ronin, Ronin Katana, and you want to go into the Musashi brand. Now, I actually started off with Musashi. Musashi makes some really good beater swords. Sub 100, a lot of their swords are sub $100, and they're not bad swords. Actually, I got into my first sword. Actually, let me try to do some screen shares here. Hold on, bear with me for a second. Okay, so let me try to find the. Okay, so that's Walter Soros. We don't want that. Citadel, Evolution Blades, Sword and Armory, Sword Buyer's Guide, Sword, Skygiro. Okay, I can't find it right now, but let me see. I know I had it somewhere. Hanbon Forge. Give me. Okay, Musashi. Here we go. All right. Actually, hold on. Let me fix this up here. Let me share that. Okay, so here's Musashi, guys. Okay, so Musashi is basically it's actually a pretty good choice among many different people. You have your platinum collection, your gold collection, your silver collection. I started out with the silver collection katana. Okay, let's try to make this a little bit bigger for you. Does that. Okay. So I started with the silver collection. Now these are a little high priced. They're not really 199. They're like 130. Okay. A lot of them are sold out. But I got something within this type of price range here. Okay, Musashi Red Katana. It's actually probably almost exactly like I started with. This was actually probably my first katana. Okay, Eric, best beaters I've encountered the HTC's 1095 ones. 1 year so Ricky comes out. Yeah, no, the HTC. Listen, this is not the epitome of information here, guys. This is just basically what I came across with. That's why this is a conversation. So definitely take a look at the chat room, see what people have to say. I'll probably go back to this back and forth and all that. So the Musashi, okay, is what I started with actually. Really, very plain Jane, fake ray skin, okay, very plain fittings. The fit was very tight, but it did the job. And this is, yeah, like I said, 1060 high carbon steel, okay, 40 inches overall, 55 Rockwell hardness, ray skin handle wrapped. I don't think it's real ray skin. They never really are. And, like a cheap cotton. But you know what? It worked, guys. I cut bottles with it. I learned how to swing a sword with it. You know, I you know, I, I did whatever I had to do. Oh, my camera was unplugged. Hold on, guys. My camera's unplugged. Let me bring it back. Let me see if that comes in. Technical errors really, really suck. All right, so let me just keep on talking while my camera, if I try to get my camera back in here. So basically, you have Musashi. I'm sure you guys can hear me okay, right? So Musashi is where I started. So that's definitely a good starting point. I know that Eric had mentioned also the HSTS 1095, which is also a great beater sword. There's a lot of good beater swords out there. So that's probably something that you definitely want to start with, okay? So let me try to get my camera back if I can. Hold on a second. Camera just kind of totally skipped out, guys. I'm just in the technical errors right now trying to get the camera back. Hold on. So here's that camera. All right, camera skipped out, guys, but it's okay. You guys can hear me though, okay, right? Okay, cool. All right, so that's the way you want to start with in terms of a beater sword. So you want to start with the beater swords only because as if you're getting into Kadana for the first time, you definitely don't want to go into the higher price ranges because that's not, especially if you're learning how to use it and you're going to beat the shit out of it in the backyard. It's definitely not something that you want to start with to go into like a $400 price point. Because if you do mess it up, with bad cuts and learning how to swing it, it's definitely got. It's not gonna. It's gonna ruin your day if you ruin like a $300 or $400 or a $500 katana. So that's definitely not what you want to go with. So I definitely recommend going with a starter katana. Now the other katana that I want to show you, if I can just get it on screen here. Yeah, I should bring this in full. Is let me see, Sino swords. We'll get to that in a second. Cultivatina. Okay. Ryan sword is really good. Okay. Actually, I can't find my my Ronin katana. I think you could actually, if I actually go to the SBG store. So if you go to the SBG store, I think they have Ronin here. All right. So you have your Ronin katanas here, guys. Okay. You guys could all hear me okay, right? I just can't get the camera in, but as long as you guys hear me okay. Basically, with the Ronin katana, you have your Ronin Katana Elite. Okay, you don't want to go with that. You want to go with the starter point. Let me see if I can get that down on this page here. Now these are 849, 344. It's going down. It's going down. I'm trying to look for the 130 market on Ronin. Okay, the Dojo Pros are very good. Dojo Pros in the $300 price point are actually pretty well made katanas. I mean, I know they're not perfect. A lot of people pissed off with them, but for the most part, I think I believe they're Datanuki blades, which are pretty strong, robust blades. They definitely take a beating, but they're pretty good swords within the just sub of $300. But I want to try to show you the starter point here before go to 5. This gets into Ronin. I don't really see them here, but basically, there is a sword from Ronin that they're in the $130 price point, and the $130 price point is it's a 1045 steel, and it's definitely a pretty good Ronin katana to kind of just and you could use it as a backyard beater. It's made very well. 1045 can it's not going to last you forever, but again, if you mess that thing up, it's not going to ruin your day. Okay, so those are definitely some good swords you can start with. I know you guys can make recommendations in the chat room for some that are a little bit better. Okay, so let me actually try to change my camera and try to get the camera back. It might not be the best quality camera, but this is really pissing me the hell off. PS camera. Geo, why is my camera not working? This is really pissing me off. Hold on, guys. Let me go into my settings app. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me try to get my camera in. All right, screw it, guys. I can't get the camera working. So else is in the room. So we got Chuck and Steel. What's up, Chuck? Tina's in the room. What's up, Tina? Thanks for joining us, Tina. I'm having some camera problems. I feel like I got to get out of the live in order to get the camera working again. But I'm having some camera. Oh, there you go. I got the camera back. All right, never mind. Let me go back here. All right, technical error avoided. All right, so I'm back. Had some camera issues, so I'm back in the room. So that's where you want to go with that. Now, if you guys are looking to shop for a quality katana, okay. Now, one experience I had was with Swords of Northshire, okay? If you're looking to build something for yourself, and if you want a custom type of sword, okay, and you want to kind of I mean, to be honest with you, they do actually have a really good assortment of stock swords, okay? A couple different color embellishments, but there are some really nice looking swords in Swords of Northshire. But the highlight of Swords of Northshire, like Jakku, is the fact that you can build your own sword according to your likeness. Okay, your color scheme. You can choose from their fittings. Now, it's not a custom made sword, mind you. It's a custom built sword. Okay, from the pieces that they have at their disposal. Most of these pieces are kind of shared around to a couple of different manufacturers, but nonetheless, you can kind of build your own type of sword, and you can make simple requests for types of the links to the blades, the link to the sukas or the handles. So it's definitely a great way for you to kind of shop to get something that would be made just for you. Okay. Okay. So the best highlight of Swords in Northshire is the custom swords section. So now, if you go into custom swords, so you notice here where you can customize your own sword. Okay. Or actually, is it's a sword bag. All right. So here is your custom sword section where you can kind of build here, customize your own sword. So now you can start here by doing, you can go down the line. You can start off with hand sharpening. Okay, you could decide what type of sharpening you want. So if you, let's say you want sharp for light cutting or sharp Waniku for heavy cutting, you start there. Then you got blade material. So you can select from their blade materials. You got 1060, you have 9260, clay temper 1095. You can go with their freaking Tamahogany. So you can build, and that's, their Tamahogany is like, $3,500. Kind of crazy. But, it's an expensive process. So you can pick your blade steel, you can pick your Nagasa blade, your Nagasa link, your blade link, and so on and so forth. You can kind of build the type of katana that you want with Swords of Northshire. Now, I don't know if you guys saw my katana video that I made up with the bamboo cutting, and I used my silver dragon katana from Swords of Northshire. And I got to tell you, I was very impressed at how it got through the bamboo, how light and nimble it was, and how getting through so many. And I really made a lot of cuts with that sword in this session. I may have not have posted them all, but up upon what is it? Who's in the room now? YouTube Punk, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining me. BC Gerbs is in the room. What's up, my friend? Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. The Dynamo is here. I have two Kadana swords in Northshire. I like them a lot. I have folded 1060 blade. Is very nice looking. Yeah, their folded steels are beautiful. If you have a chance of getting anyone who has a chance of getting folded steel for aesthetic purposes, just the wood grain lines, the temper line. It's beautiful. They're beautiful swords. I love folded steel. I do have a folded steel from Jakku that I'm getting redone, and I got a folded steel blade coming in from Jakku that should be in by next week, and I can't wait to show that off as well. Swords in Northshire really does have some really good quality katana. They really, really do. Okay, I'm very impressed at the quality of their stuff. Okay, this is my particular sword. Okay, I have this particular sword here. Very good steel. It's one of the swords in back of me. I think it's the second one down. Very good blades. Very good customer service. Um, one of the sword that this particular sword that I picked up, okay, that's on the screen here. I wasn't happy with a couple of things, and they actually made me up a brand new sword, and that's how I, excuse me, that's how I have the silver dragon sword, and that's what I was cutting with the bamboo. So very impressed at the quality of their swords, and you can get something within the 200 to over $500 price point. So anywhere from $200 to $600 is pretty much where you're going to be with Swords in Northshire. But they do have swords in the $200 price point. I mean, if I go back here, swords under 200. Let me actually go that here. So you have swords under 200 from Swords in Northshire. Okay, 149, 189. So they're all swords you can get under 200, and I guarantee you, and they're all again 1060. Like I said, you're gonna find swords with 1060 carbon steel with that. Swords from Japan are absolutely beautiful. Absolutely, BC. I mean, but they come at a price. They come at a price. Um, Northshire is good. I like Jakku more, and I'll tell you why I like Jakku more, Bert. I'll tell you why I like Jakku more. But the quality, I can't deny. You can't deny the quality of the swords you're getting from Swords of Northshire. They definitely have good quality swords. They're pricier than Jakku for pretty much the same product. I think Jakku does a little bit better with their fit and finish. But I can't say the fit and finish on the swords I got from Swords of Northshire are bad. I'm very happy with them. But I just feel like for bang for the buck, you're going to be better off with Sino swords, with Jakku. Okay? This is a hot sword, man. This Ghost of Tsushima sword. I really, really freaking like this sword if it comes up on screen. Come on, Jakku, get your internet working faster. So the swords, if I ever let this come up, go back home. Let's try that again. All right, here it goes. Check out this sword, guys. I don't know if you guys are into that video game, the Ghost of Tsushima, the PlayStation game. This is a freaking dynamite replica of that sword. I'm very, very impressed with this particular sword. Really nice fittings, a little over the top, but look at that saya. Look at that nice polished saya. Really beautiful. Nice looking steel, bowhide. The baki's not bad. Nice traditional, like an antique type of suba. The white ito with the black ray skin underneath. Really, really freaking nice katana. I gotta say. And this is coming. This is coming to you from Jakku. But getting back to the beginning here, they have Japanese swords. They have Chinese swords. They have a couple of different things you can choose from, but the beauty of Jakku is the fact that you have the custom order form. And I really love the custom order form. Let me actually bring this full screen so you guys can see a little bit better. So here's a custom order form, very detailed in terms of what all the parts are, so you can kind of do your research there. Can you guys see the screen okay? Is it coming big enough on your screen that you can see what I'm doing here? I'm hoping you can. Um, so you could select your blade length, you could select the blade steel, the blade construction, a blade shape, the blade polishing. I really recommend cosmetic polish. It's fantastic. It's such a great polish for a katana. It looks very traditional. Cutting edge, you could select blunt if you want to practice with it without having sharpen, or super razor sharp or sharp with niku. Okay. Then you have your high bow high, your blood groove, as some people call it. You can select the type of hamon that you want. And you notice here you have like all the different hamons, the wave pattern, random hamon. This is beautiful. The Togari hamon is gorgeous. Weapon IZ. I've got the Jakku Ghost of Tsushima and T10. It's really nice. Everything is high quality. Actually, let me bring this up on screen. His high quality, tight, Ito, great hammer. Good. I'm very happy you have that. Actually, I've never spoken to anybody who actually has that Ghost Hiroshima sword. I really loving the look of it. And I'm not really into, excuse me, fantasy swords, because I never know what I'm going to get. And I want to be able to use the swords. I don't want to just kind of hang it up on my wall. I want to have it, a nice representation of a fantasy sword, but I also want to be able to use it. Excuse me, and enjoy it. So I'm glad to see that you actually like that, Zed, because I am really digging that sword. But getting back to the Hamon, Wild Hamon, Koji Hamon, which is very popular, very hard to make, can't be done on all blades. So that's definitely something that's really, really freaking cool, okay, that you can get into. And you have all these different ornaments, and you can select from their different type of selections for as far as their finishing pieces, their subas, their suka, the torso or the fittings, the saya. There's a lot of different things that you can get into, which is really, really cool. But the good thing about Jakku is the fact that they do a good job. They really do. I have had swords from them, and I made videos up on them where the fit and finish wasn't good. Okay. And I let them know what that was all about. Okay. But most of the swords that I get from them are pretty much between 2 and 300. I mean, obviously it goes over when you have shipping, but 2 and 300, sometimes a little over 300. And I got some pretty ass kicking swords. If you look at this sword in back of me, which is my Hirazukuri's sword, okay, that I consider a quality sword. Okay. Now, if you look at, let me try to back up here. This is a sword from True Kadana. Okay. Look at the Ito. Look at the freaking. Let me try to get this in without knocking out the mic. Look at the Ito. Look how much it moves. Okay, look how freaking what a horrible mess the Ito is. You can see the wood core. It's moving. Now this is after one practice session, pretty much out of the box. Look at the Ito how it is. Okay, terrible. I mean, really cheap, very cheap, wiggly alloy fittings. Nothing iron on here at all. Very. I mean, if you look at the side, very cheap. This thing, I tightened it up because I couldn't take it. But this thing was kind of, I tightened it with my Gorilla Glue thing, and it kind of fits a little bit better because I kind of put some Gorilla Glue into the Kojiri and the Koiguchi rather, and I was able to kind of tighten it up and made it a little snugger. But when I first got this thing was kind of just like this. It was falling right in and out. I mean, it was very, very bad quality. Let me show you a little bit of the other true Kadana that I have. Okay, take a look at this. Look at this knot. Look at this knot. Okay, look how this thing. Wait, it's actually coming off completely. Look at that. Look at that. This is pretty much out of the box with pretty much no use. Okay, I can pretty much actually take this off on camera right now on the live. Okay, very the Ito is horrible. This was not coming out. I actually had to shave this down in order to get this thing in place. I fixed it a little bit, but this thing was, it's even still, look how much force I have to do to get, and now I can't even open it. I mean, it was just a really poor attempt at this true Kadana. Okay. So now, if you look at my Jakku sword, if you guys can bear with me for a second, okay? So here is my Jakku sword, okay? Excellent, excellent fit and finish, okay? Look at that blade. It's hard to see on this camera here. Look at the Hanbon. Look at the shape of the blade, the Okasaki. I mean, it's an actually beautiful, beautiful Hirazukuri, okay? Look at that antiqued finish, Suba, really high quality Habaki, okay? Look at the Ito. Okay, you're talking about tight Ito. It's hard for you to see it on camera. Look at the quality of the nodes in the tea stained ray skin in here. Look at the quality of the Minuki. Okay, look at how tight. And try to get the right screen here. Okay, look how tight. I can barely move. Okay, Ito from side to side. Really beautiful shape on the Suka. Okay, look at the quality of the fittings. Okay, it's a really wonderfully made, very well fit. I took this apart a million times. Okay, it feels incredible in the hands. Okay, very, very nimble. Okay, very look, the bullhorn, basically where you want bullhorn. Okay, beautiful brown bullhorn. The fit and finish of this katana from Jakku was absolutely fantastic. No, that's only the string. No rattle whatsoever. Okay, this is, a quality katana from a company that's reputable. You want to deal with a reputable company. Okay, Jakku hasn't done me right every single time, and when they have messed up, which I have a sword that they did mess up, and they made me up new ones. Full support. Customer support is key, guys. When you're dealing with a katana, number one, that sword, if I don't know what it's priced at, but considering it's a full wrap Samigawa ray skin and everything, and the fit and finish as incredibly good as it is, and the blade and everything about it, cosmetic polish, I think that sword is probably about a $300, $380. I would venture to say about a $380 sword. But the original sword I picked up from them was about 286, which was a Cobuse blade, a folded Cobuse blade, which was beautiful. I love the blade, and I'm actually getting it redone. I mean, these are sub $300 swords, guys. The bang for the buck of Jakku is really, really good. And that's why I always recommend Jakku for people who want a quality made sword that they can customize, they can make the way they want, and you're going to get a good product. And if you don't get a good product, and if you have a legitimate complaint of the fit and finish or something wrong with the sword, they'll support you guys. They'll make you up a new one. And you know what? Most of the time, they'll let you keep that one because you can't really ship swords back to China. So, so you end up having two swords. And my other sword that I had, I'm actually getting it redone because the blade was so incredibly well done that I'm getting it refitted. Okay. I'm actually getting, new Sukamaki made up, and I have some Koshiri made up. Everything is going to be new. And so I have two swords from them. Okay. That's the custom support that you're getting. Key Gent, Jakku Kadana should be shipped soon, but all sure now maybe. Yeah, the shit. Listen, the shipping is a freaking hot mess right now around the table, guys. Shipping and getting things in and out. It's still, believe it or not, COVID related and backups and inflation and gas and just the world is a mess right now, man. And so shipping is definitely going to be an issue when you're ordering swords, and you're going to have to wait a very long time. So it's just that's a mess. I don't even want to get into that right now, but I feel your pain, man. It might take you long, but actually, it's I'm actually get they yeah, JQ actually is shipping me two swords. They actually just gave me a shipping confirmation. They're getting swords out. You'll be surprised. You'll probably get it a lot faster than you think. You know, Michael RS, thanks for joining me, buddy. Can't speak to any others. Okay, what do you got? All right, so let's get into Hanbon. All right, so you guys know I love JQ. I think the bang for the buck is fantastic. Great quality product, and they stand behind their product. I like JQ. And again, $300 price point or $200 price point, you're getting some good pieces there. I would recommend if you're dealing with JQ, because I'm going to come off the subject, it's a Hanbon. When you're dealing with JQ, definitely go into like the $200 to $300 price point. You have a custom built sword. Pick the steel, pick it the way you want it, and you're going to have a really wonderful sword that you can use for tamashigiri. You can display aesthetic purposes. You can use it. It's not going to fall apart. You can cut with it, have a good time with it, and it's going to always come back and serve you very, very, very well. Okay, so that's JQ. But if you want to talk about Hanbon, let's try to find Hanbon. Let me find it, and then I'm going to put it on screen. Okay. Dina, Ryan Sword. Okay, here's Hanbon. All right, guys, let me share this screen with you. All right, so here's Hanbon. Why is that glimmering like crazy? Hold on, let me do it again. Technical errors, guys. All right, that's a little better. All right, so here's Hanbon Forge, because I know you guys mentioned as far as Hanbon. Hanbon Forge is pretty much very competitive with Swords of Northshire. Now, some would choose Hanbon Forge over Swords of Northshire. Okay, um, I think you're getting a little better pricing with Hanbon Forge. I actually have a sample Kadana coming to me via Hanbon Forge for review, so I'm actually looking forward to getting to that. I'll get that out to you. I did have one Hanbon Forge from the very beginning. I wasn't happy with it, but I think it's also because I was a little experienced in the very beginning and I didn't order what I liked. So I wasn't happy with what I got, but overall the quality of it is good. I sharpened it up recently. I cut with it. They're very good, well-made swords. Hanbon's Forge, I would definitely recommend if you want to get a custom sword made up, because you have your custom swords section where you can kind of pick here, customize your own sword. It starts off for like $97, and then you start picking all your selections of what you want in the store. And guys, I gotta tell you guys, it is actually. Let me get back to myself on screen. It is kind of fun, kind of choosing your own sword. Kind of choosing your steel and choosing what you want. It is kind of fun, kind of just making up your own thing. Mike, I know you do actually. I think we had spoken about this a little while back. You said you have a couple Hanbon Forge swords, art pieces. Yeah, they're functional art pieces. That's my point, guys. When you're getting into a price point within the $200 to $400 price point, they're like functional art pieces. They're made very well. More or less, you're going to get iron subas, iron finishing pieces. The sukamaki is going to be done very well. The koshiri is going to be done very well. The saya is going to fit well for the most part. They're not perfect, guys. They're not perfect. But for the most part, you're going to get a quality product, so they're functional art. That's what they are. They're functional art. They're deadly art, is what I like to call them. So Hanbon Forge is definitely a website you want to go to definitely try to make up a sword. So you got Swords of Northshire, you got Hanbon Forge, you have Jaku. Now it's just a matter of what strikes you fancy. I think you're pretty legit with all three. If I had to pick personally what I like to deal with in terms of a personal company, I would go probably with Jakku. I just like what they're giving me. I like their prices. I have a relationship with them, and it's nice when you deal with them a lot. I'm sure Michael, you have a relationship with Hanbon, and they definitely take care of you. But you gain a relationship with the people, the salesmen, and the people who actually provide the orders for you. And sometimes they give you a little bit more than what you're paying for. So that's always kind of cool to kind of have a relationship with them. Choose your own sword venture. YouTube punk. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's like that's exactly what it is. Choose your own sword adventure. Deadly art. That's what it is, man. It's deadly art. That's what I like. I personally like to call them. That's my coin. That's my coin phrase. Okay, now you're saying, what about Ryan sword? Okay, I got Ryan sword. Is this Ryan sword? Hold on. I think this was Ryan sword. Yeah, yeah, this is Ryan sword. So here's your Ryan sword. Somebody asked me about Ryan sword. Ryan swords are also a company that you can customize and you get really good quality products. I know that Samurai Bird, you had mentioned it. You have a couple of Ryan swords and you're happy with them. Ryan swords makes good quality products. And again, 300 price point, $400 price point, $200 price point. You're getting some good products from Ryan swords. That's definitely an option. Now, did you know that Ryan sword is used by Swords of Northshire? I don't know if they still are, but they were for a very long period of time. Ryan Swords was making swords for fulfilling orders for Swords of Northshire. Yes, they were. So that's why you find a lot of similar pieces in Ryan Swords and Swords of Northshire. But they're on their own. They definitely make some good products. Actually, let's take a look at some of their Japanese swords. Katana right here. That's some nice sori on this one, man. Look at the sori freaking on this freaking sword. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm actually looking at this for the first time with you guys. Um, yeah, sori's gorgeous. 10-inch handle. Like you look at this and you see it's a 10-inch Suka. I personally, my sweet spot is 11-inch handle, 11-inch Suka or handle. This is about 10.2. I like 11. That's my pretty much my sweet spot. I'm sure that you can request to have a longer Suka and customize a couple things you want. That's why, companies like Ryan Sword, where they're giving you stock products and you can customize a sword, is very good. So I definitely recommend Ryan Sword. Ryan Sword makes some good products. Actually, they come a long way as far as improving the quality of their products. Okay. What's up, Carl? Thanks for joining me, buddy. No problem that you're late, man. Always good to see you here, Carl. Definitely, Carl. Your knowledge is definitely very valuable in the room right now, man. BC, time for dinner, fellas. Thanks, BC, for joining me, buddy. I really, really do appreciate it, my man. You can always go back and watch this a little bit later. JD's in the room. Nothing like the real thing. Just don't buy it. But no, just don't buy it too. Just trying to read a couple of your comments here, guys. Jakku is far more into the weed as the nuances you can order into your sword. Listen, everybody has their own opinions as far as it's just a matter of, it's a conversation, guys. Again, I am not the final word in all this. I'm just giving a recommendation of what my research has taken me, what I've used in the past, what I've seen other people talk about and seen reviews. Yes, I have them on my website too. Louis Sword, I believe it's called Louis Sword. I have them up here as well. Let me try to find them. I know I had saved them. Okay, here it is. Louis Sword. This is a company, actually, I really want to use this company. They have some very interesting products, and I've seen some of their swords, their finished swords, their custom swords, and even their stock swords are beautiful. Very well made, very nice look, clean fit and finish. Some of their prices are ranging from like 200. There's one for 600 right here. There's one for 268. They do have some custom sword projects that you can make up. They have some Ninjato swords here. They also have some Chinese swords. But let's just go with this 395 one here. All right, so you have here high quality Japanese Samurai Kadana. Clay tempered Koji Hamon, which is always great. I love Koji Hamon. About 395. You can select if you want it hand sharpened or unsharpened. I don't know why you would ever want it unsharpened, unless you're practicing with it, of course. Mid hair style, Shinogi Zakuri, Kukasaki, 60 HRC, which is always good. Real race skin. Yeah, this is a very interesting sword maker, and I definitely recommend taking a look at them because I am going to venture into one of their swords very soon. I just got a couple of projects that I'm working on, but I think this is definitely this what's on screen right now. I'll bring it a little bit bigger. This company, Louis Sword. Okay, I'll try to leave some links in the description when I get into it. This is a very interesting company, and I think that they do make some very good products. And I've seen people pretty happy with their end results. And I'm looking at through their catalog, and there's some really nice, clean looking swords. I don't like over embellishments. A lot of the Subas is similar to like swords and Northshire and all that, but you got to expect that they're going to be using a lot of the same manufacturers. What else do you guys gain? Angel Forge, Garen. You had asked about Angel Forge. I've heard about Angel Forge. There's so many out there, guys. There really is so many out there. It's not even funny, basically, how many there are out there. It's just a matter of just you have to stick to you have to stick to reputable companies. You have to look at reviews. You have to look at our YouTube videos. You have to look at what's out, what people are saying about them, seeing real world demonstrations. Now, the thing is, um, new place to browse and experiment with Neo. Yeah, yeah. You definitely always have to keep your horizons, your mind open, your horizons open to new companies to explore different types of products. You have to compare website to website, compare the products, compare the prices, compare the different types of steels that different manufacturers offer, and you have to see certain manufacturers do handle certain steels a lot better than others. So you have to really do your research. You have to go in educated, guys. You have to go in educated, knowing what steel you want, what you're looking for in a sword. You can't really go in blind, okay, without knowing what you're getting. Okay, you guys notice my shirt? Brother of the Blade, straight from Pistol Pete. I wish Pistol Pete was in the room, but this is a shirt from Pistol Pete. He's actually selling them. He's a great freaking shirt. Um, you definitely have to do your research. You have to know what you're looking for before you shop around for swords. You have to educate yourself a little bit. You can't go in blind. And you know what? You ask questions to guys like us that review these swords and have our hands on them and ask questions. And, I'm always glad to answer comments. I spend a lot of time answering comments, answering, paragraph after paragraph as much as I possibly can. It's hard to do it in the comment section. That's why I made up this video. But you have to look at go in with an educated model of what you're looking for before you deal with these types of companies. Compare company to company, compare to what they do in certain price ranges, compare them in terms of the quality of the iron that's used in their finishing pieces, uh, their size and how everything is built and how the fit and finishes. Ask questions, email them, get responses. Okay. Make sure that when you're dealing with a sword company, especially a custom sword company, make sure they can provide you the service where they can send you images of the sword before it's actually sent to you. 1060 is probably the safest steel that you can go with most Chinese manufacturers because 1060, they're professionals with 1060. They really are. They're professionals with heat tempering 1060. Me personally, I do like T10 and 1095. I agree with you with that. That's pretty much my sort of choice. I don't go with spring steel. I don't have nothing against spring steel per se, but I like differentially hardened type of blades. So that's why I tried it. I love T10 and 1095. I 1060, I've had a lot of 1060 swords when I first started with. When I started understanding the steel, I pretty much deal with T10 and 1095. Absolutely. Well, Carl, if we're talking about price ranges right now between the $200 to $400 price point, that's the section that we're dealing with right now. And that's for most people. Most people are going to fall into the category of $200 to $400. And from $200 to $400, I would say three, four, $500 is where you're going to have start seeing some really good quality katana. But again, I've dealt with Jakku in the 200 to 300 price point, and I've been very happy with the quality of the swords I've gotten from them. So that's the price point we're looking at with Louis Sword, with Jakku, with Hanbon, with Swords of Northshire, and they're customizing the parts and you're putting them together, and that's the price ranges we're staying in. So unless you have any other questions, we're going to go into the next tier up in terms of starting to go into really good quality. So I'm going to go with that right now. So I reviewed with you a couple of these custom sword makes, but then I'm going to go with the stores that you can go into, general stores that you can go into get swords, which I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I personally like sword companies that offer you something different or something on a different level of quality. They take their time. They're companies that basically make swords for the most part in general upon order. So it's not like they're making a bundle of blades, putting them on the side and then fitting them together according to what people choose within their stock. Okay. One particular company that I wanted to show you, if I can get them on screen, and I'll bring them a little bit. Okay. Huawei swords. Okay. Here's Huawei. I'll try to get into one of the higher price ones. So this is similar to like kind of one that I got. Okay. This is Huawei. Huawei is a Lanquan, China. They are a different type of forge. They're a little bit of a smaller forge. From what I understand, they do a lot of their work in house. They don't really stock swords. They do have some stock that they can kind of ship out, but as soon as you start customizing and changing things, like I customize certain things, I'm still waiting a very long time with it. Um, you're gonna be expected to wait a very long time to get your swords in. Okay, Huawei is they're known. And if you look at SBG Sword Buyer's Guide, you can see a lot of people reviewing Huawei, and most of them have been very, very happy with the katana they get from this forge. Okay. They approach their swords a little bit higher quality. You can see basically the fittings. Look at the tang. Excuse me. Look at the nagasa. Look at the grinding. Look how beautiful. Now, when they take pride in this part of the blade, in the tang of the blade, when they take pride in grinding it down and polishing it up to make it look like this and not a rusty old bucket, you know that they're taking pride in the blade itself. So when you have something like this, when you open up the sword and you see a tang like this, you know you're in for something really good overall with the sword. Okay, nice paint finish. Okay, on the saya. Look at the how beautiful and pronounced the hamon is. One Makugi peg, which I love, very traditional. The one Makugi peg, it's like a traditional Japanese Nihanto, which I like. Um, yes, Neo. Huawei's are gorgeous. They really freaking are. I can't wait to get mine. Look at that Okasaki. Look at the termination. Good quality Sageo string. Nice Sukamaki, the freaking handle. Look at that how beautiful that Habaki is. Different. You can see that there is a different quality. There's a different quality you're looking at. But again, this particular sword is a Koji Japanese. It's a Datanuki blade. This is a $700 sword. Okay, that's probably the highest price sword that Huawei makes. Okay, but at $700, you're getting a really kick-ass sword. Okay, great fit and finish. Now, I'm speaking like I own it. I'm going by a lot of people that have owned it. I've read up a lot about them. I'm still waiting for mine to come in. I'm at around next month will be 8 months. 8 months that I'm waiting for my Huawei. Now, If I was dealing with another sword company, I would be basically really pissed off. Okay, waiting 8 months. But I know from dealing with, I have some really close friends of mine that do a lot of work with their forge. And he told me the most he waited was about 12 months to get a sword from them. So it's nothing that's out of the norm, okay, with Huawei to be waiting a very long period of time. The motto with Huawei is high quality blades, crappy customer service. That's just what you're getting from them. They don't answer their emails right away, but they do get you their product. You just can't hassle them and can't get status from them. You'll get probably an email when they're pretty much almost done with the sword and when they're about to ship it. That's pretty much it, guys. I know they stand behind their product afterwards if you're unhappy with it, but they spend so much time in working on the sword that more likely you're going to get a quality product and you're not really going to have any complaints about it. Again, not perfect, but for $700, it better be, you know, pretty close to being fantastic. Okay. But yeah, Huawei is now on the next level as far as a kick ass quality sword. Okay. Then you have Skyjiro. Have you guys, anybody had any experience with Skyjiro? I know that call you have experience with Skyjiro. Okay. Anybody else have any experience with Skyjiro before? Anybody? Anybody in the room? Skyjiro? Other than call? Call, let me know what you think about your Skyjiro. I agree, Ryan. Huawei's best Tabaki Koguchi fit in the sub 750 range. Definitely, without a doubt. That's why I really love their swords. I am a sucker, okay, for fit and finish. I need that's probably the most important quality that I find that I want in a katana is fit and finish. I want to be able to take the sword apart. I want to see a really good quality Nagasa, good Nakago rather. I want to see a polish. I don't want to see a rusty mess. I want to see good quality because then you can see they take pride in their sword. Overall, if you see a good quality tang. But yes, I definitely agree with you. The Habaki Koguchi fit is really fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to getting that. Skyjiro is another company that I'm waiting on a sword from them. Okay, let me go into the class that I was looking at. Here's a cross feathers. Actually, I think it's not this one here. Okay, so this is the sword from Skyjiro. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me bring it up full screen. Anybody deal with Skyjiro? I don't know if anybody responded. Probably not. Had to touch up the edge. Okay, the cross feather. I know you have this one. You have the cross feather. This is the one that I ordered, though. I believe it's this one here. This is the Hanabira sword. Skyjiro. Really, I love Skyjiro because they have great quality steels. They make their own little concoction with their steels, which I'm a really big fan of. Okay, it's actually a big secret for them. They don't tell you what they make in their steels, but they make their own steels. Very nice Sukamaki. Diamonds are fairly even. Nice wrapping. The fittings are all original pieces that you can only find on a Skyjiro sword. Okay, this Habaki you'll only find it on a Skyjiro sword unless you have a rip off or a makeover on another sword. But this is pretty much trademark finishing pieces on a Skyjiro, and that's what I like about Skyjiro is that you're getting pretty much their own made finishing pieces. Okay, really nice, elegant, very clean. Okay, transitions. I really like what you're getting from Skyjiro. Okay, now they have many different price ranges. Okay, this particular sword is in a 547. It's like a $500-600 price point, which is pretty fair, and I think you're getting pretty good quality at that price range. But then you start going into other classes, and now you're getting into this sword, which is the Hawk. This is around $4,397. Now, this goes into the price range of a very high price sword like a Citadel or Evolution blade. They're pretty much competing with the likes of Citadel and Evolution Multihara blades within that price range. Now, what are you getting? It's hard for you to see. I don't know how big it is on your screen. You're getting Tamahogany. This is a Tamahogany main blade, 10,000 plus layers, Cobuse construction with folded iron core. You're getting Skyjiro's Forge's superior differentially clay technique, traditional Japanese method, and hand mirror polish, Japanese waterstone. So you're getting a lot. I mean, you're definitely getting a very high quality sword. Let's get a close up look at it. How a almost $5,000 sword looks like, and it's a pretty nice looking freaking sword. What do you guys think of it? Oh, Matthew's in the room. What's up, buddy? We got royalty in the room. Matt, you should be taking my chair right now, man. We're talking about some Skyjiro. This is one of the high price Skyjiros, around $4,400. And I'm just saying, I really like the look of it. I mean, it's Tamahogany blade. I don't know how much it's worth it, but again, they're trying to compete with Multihara and Citadel. And you can definitely speak, Matt, on, I mean, look at that Tsukamaki, really beautiful. Battle wrap, but look at the details and what they did here. Really, really nice looking. Okay. So now that's that class. So we're not going into we skyrocketed over. Then you have your price range in the 2,000 to 1,000 price range. Somebody had asked me what you could get for about $1,000. You can get a Skyjiro for about $1,700. And again, you're getting Cobuse construction. You get pretty much, also a very high quality blade and high quality construction within that price range. Okay. But not anything that's it's similar to what I'm getting from them for about $500. But yeah, this is, Skyjiro is definitely going into the upper echelons of a sword within that price range. Now you're going past what you're getting from Swords of Northshire. You're going past what you're getting from Jakku or Ryan's sword. Although you can get pretty up on the scale there with their price points, but you're never going to get into like the thousands, price point that you're getting with Skyjiro. Okay. Now, aside from Skyjiro, then you have my pretty much grail sword, Evolution blades. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, just let's have a moment of silence while you guys look at how beautiful these effing Evolution blades are. Matt, I love your Evolution blades. Look how beautiful. Look at the details. Look at that habaki. Holy crap. I mean, Matt, they don't have prices. Matthew, if you could answer this, what are the going price points for a new Evolution blade like the ones you're seeing on screen here? What are the price ranges for Evolution blades at this point in time? Because they don't really put prices on the websites. If you could answer me that and put it on the chat. But these are absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous blades. How many swords? Matthew has hundreds of swords, literally hundreds of swords, but he can answer that for you. So here is your Evolution blades. I'm assuming you have their price list, Carl. I would love their prices. Well, just tell me. I mean, what are their price ranges? I know you have a Multihara blade, but what are their pretty much what are their ranges in price in terms of their lowest price and their highest price sword right now in terms of Evolution blades? Because now we're going to higher tier now. Really high quality blade. Okay. Now, who is buying an Evolution blade? Maybe a sensei or somebody who has a school, who's a sensei at a dojo and wants to show off at having a really well made sword and is just going to basically practice with it and not really doing any cutting and just show off to say that, I have an Evolution blade, something that's very well made. I can't see one of us getting an Evolution blade like what you're seeing here and going out and chopping up F fucking bottles with it and stuff like that, or chopping up bamboo like I did this week. Because you'll be out of your mind to use a sword that costs in the thousands to be doing that type of work. Um, Carl, just tell me price range. I know it depends on the steel, but just give me a range. Give me a range and price for the Evolution blades right now. I'm just very, very curious. I would love to know what you guys are saying here. Who's calling me? I can't answer this right now. Okay, so I can. Okay, so Carl had said the Evolution blades. Yeah, that's what I figured. 2 to 6,000. I figure around 2,000, 5,000. That's what my assumption was from what I've seen. So 2 to 6,000, you can get into an Evolution blade. So the minimum that you're going to spend on one of these beautiful swords is around 2,000. So again, this is for the probably the connoisseur, the very high price connoisseur, as far as wanting the best of the best. That's who's getting into the Evolution blade, or a sensei, or a professional martial arts practitioner, somebody who just wants a very, very well made sword, or somebody who just wants to have the best to be able to artistically display it on their mantle and have a beautiful presentation of a Japanese style katana. Now, these are still production katanas. They're not handmade. They're not, made to order or anything like that. You're picking from their website. I don't know how many changes you can make to them. They're a very high price production market, production company, which is Evolution Blades. Let me show you a different make. All right, so now this is Citadel. I couldn't find the website, but Citadel is also sold by CES Liberia. So this is now a Ocean. Let's try the Bamboo Citadel. Bamboo Citadel Katana is around $2,800. I don't know if there's any more pictures. Yeah, there is more. Look at that Suba, guys. That's what you're paying for in terms of quality. Look how beautifully detailed that Suba is. Look at the lines. Look at the shadow details. Look at the. I mean, this is a very. I don't know if it's a handmade casting but if it's a casting, it's a damn well made casting. Look at that habaki. The habaki on the Citadel is so different from so many other habakis on the market, and that's I really am digging the habaki on the Citadel Katana. It's so different from any others. I know the Motahara is a little bit better overall in terms of performance, but this freaking habaki on the Citadel is absolutely gorgeous. But again, guys, we're looking at this in terms of a $3,000 sword. Okay, $3,000 sword. This is a different tier now in terms of what you're looking at. Okay, that's your Citadel. Okay, there is an aftermarket for some of this stuff, but definitely that's now at a different. That's the highest price range, not the highest, but the pretty much for production, that's a high price range. Now, if you want to go crazy, and now you want to have a completely handmade sword, similar to what you would get in a Nihanto if you went to a if you got a master bladesmith that's still making traditional Nihantos in Japan, similar to that type of work, you would go with, and you wanted to deal with somebody in the States, you want to go with, no, not him, this guy. You want to go with Walter Soros, okay, which I did an interview with him, and he's a very extraordinary guy. He's such an interesting guy, man. His humble beginnings, but look at his work. Look at his blades. Absolutely gorgeous. But I think the cheapest sword that he can make you is probably around $5,000 or $7,000, and you're going to probably be waiting for a couple of years to get it. But look at the quality of the blades. I mean, it's just I can't speak enough with how beautifully made his blades are. And you give him the specs, and he makes it to order. Okay, but now you're just paying for the blade anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, depending on if you want to go with traditional smelted tamahogany, real iron sand tamahogany. But this is now very high price. And other than that, then you could go into like Howard Clark. There's a couple really good sword makers. Yeah, yo, what's up, buddy? No, it's actually Joto. Yoto's in the room. What's up, bud? Thanks for joining me, man. I haven't seen the chat. I've been rambling on for a little bit. What's 25K, Grugs? I kind of missed the conversation here. So quiet when I'm not speaking to somebody else. Accidentally. Yeah, I've heard the same thing, Call. I've heard the same thing about them. Okay, so this is the basically I tried to kind of give you all of the categories of swords. Okay, in terms of the price ranges, you start with your beater swords. You decide what you want. You start with your beater swords to get into the sword training. If you're experienced in swinging katana around, then you could probably get into like the higher quality ones within the $200 to $400 price point. If you really want to have great fit and finish and great quality pieces and really high quality blade, then you start getting into the $600 to $800 price point. You're always safe also with a Hanwei. Okay, you're always safe with a Hanwei. Hanwei is a great sword for you to get into, or even a Ronin Katana. Ronin Katana has prices in 300 price point. Hanwei has some really beautiful selections that you could get into. There's a sword for pretty much everybody, everyone with Hanwei. Hanwei is currently, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am wrong. Hold on. Hanwei is probably the one of the largest production companies out there. I think Ronin might be a little bit larger than them, but there is pretty much a sword for everybody's price range there. You can get some of their higher price ranges in the $800 and $1,000 price point, like the bamboo. The bamboo katana was the what the hell was it? The Hanwei bamboo mat katana, the mat cutter, bamboo mat cutter katana. It's a beautiful, beautiful katana within that price range. You can get price ranges of Hanwei in the $200 price point. I mean, I personally like Hanwei really for one particular sword, and that's my top shelf sword right there. That's the Hanwei Practical XL. That is, and you'll see my video I'm posting tomorrow where I cut some bamboo with that Hanwei. I can't speak enough. It is such a wonderfully made, high quality cutting sword. It doesn't have all the frills, fit and finish is great, but it doesn't have very high quality pieces. Fake Samegawa. The Ito is tight, not tight enough, but it does the job. It doesn't fall apart. You can cut with it. You have a good time with it. You can cut hard materials with it. It's balanced. I love it in my hands, and it just I am in love with the Practical XL, and that's probably why I'm such a big fan of Hanwei. The Raptor series I think is very good. But Hanwei, I definitely recommend in terms of you want to get into a quality sword at various different price ranges. You're pretty safe. They're not perfect, guys. Hanweis are not perfect, but you can definitely get into a couple different price ranges and pretty safe with the purchase that you're getting. You get a couple bad off the line. Hanwei has supported people in the past in terms of getting bad swords, so I would feel pretty safe in terms of dealing with Hanwei. But Hanwei, Ronin Katana, those are really good sword companies that you can get many different price ranges and get a sword that you're looking for, especially if you're not really sure. But go in as an educated consumer and know what you need and know what you need it for and know what steels are better for certain things, what blade geometry is better for cutting certain things. If you want a light and nimble sword, if you want a heavy cutter, you want a Datanuki, a very durable sword. Um, you have to know what different types of sword geometry and sword steels and sword sizes you need. You also need to know if you want a 28-inch blade, if you want a 30-inch blade, depending on your height. So a lot of these variables you have to be educated on and you have to know what you're doing. Armored Sweatpants, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining me, man. We're talking swords, Betty. We're talking swords. Okay. So once you have and you know what you want, you're pretty safe going with Hanwei or Ronin. Okay. Now, let's talk about Amazon a little bit. Anybody in the chat room have dealt with swords that they have bought from Amazon? Good or bad experiences? Let me know. We're talking about Amazon bought Kadana swords. You know, there's a big market. Um, you know, there's a very big market with Amazon Kadana. Anybody have any good or bad experiences with that? $250. Yeah, listen, the practical fucking line from Hanwei in the $200 price point, if you could find them because they're never in stock, are fantastic swords. They're so much fun to use and they're durable. They stand up to the element. They not the elements. They stand up to the materials that you're cutting with them. Okay, they're really utterly fantastic. I really love Hanwei. The practical line in that price range. I mean, they're not the prettiest swords in the world. I mean, that's a pretty much you see the Hanwei Practical XL. It's a beefy blade. It's a beautiful. You know, I think it's beautiful because it has a simple elegance to it. You know, they don't have the most beautiful pieces in the world, but they're really well made swords, and they're so much fun to cut with. I'm actually posting a video tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. I actually did a premiere thing, whatever placeholder, and I did some cutting with the Hanwei on the second part of the video, and you have to see how well it cut through bamboo. I mean, it made me as not such a good sword handler. It made me actually look good cutting bamboo, and that's what I love about the freaking Practical XL. It actually makes me look like I know how to use a sword very well, which is saying a lot. If you're dealing with a brand on Amazon that you know, like Musashi, the Musha, that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the life. The beater sword from Musashi is the Musha brand. It's called Musha, and that's about 50. It's a $50 beater sword, and that's actually not a bad fucking sword. You know, 1045 steel. You can go around, swing it around. If you break it, it's not going to break your heart because it's $50. It's $50. Musashi makes some really good swords, especially for the people who are just getting into it, or if I know people who actually own very high quality swords that actually buy cheap Musha swords just because they don't want to cut with their higher quality swords. Those are their swords to take pride in and to display and not really use other than maybe practicing with it. And they're using cheap swords like these $50 swords from Musashi, the Musha brand, and that's what they're cutting with. And they don't have any complaints. I mean, they're doing their thing. I mean, the worst thing that you have to do is maybe, sharpen it up. If you know how to sharpen, everybody needs to know how to sharpen and maintain their blades. If you want to own katana, that's another video. But if you can sharpen it up and put the edge in and you want it, by all means, a $50 freaking beater sword is great. But with Amazon, if they're selling a particular make, you're safe with it. What I'm talking about with Amazon is when they don't have a manufacturer's name and it'll say something like, I wish I had it on screen. It'll say something like, actually, let me see if I could bring it up on screen. Let me search Amazon and put up katana swords. All right. Let me share the screen here. And I'm going to show you some katana from Amazon. All right, so here's some katana from Amazon. So now, LQDSDJ fucking ultra sharp samurai sword. What the hell is that? LD LQDSDJ. I mean, and look at this name. I can't even pronounce it. There's like 15 freaking letters. Okay, in this here. Okay, $137, $109, $119. I mean, the prices look good, but you don't know what the hell you're getting. I guarantee you that out of this whole page here, maybe one of them is not going to fall apart. Okay, you don't know what you're getting. Okay, there is this suede is okay. Some people have like. I'm not saying that they're all crap. Look at this freaking thing. Okay, what the fuck is this? Look at this, gold plated, $119. Usually ships within the 6 to 10 days. Okay, gold dragon katana. I mean, look at this freaking thing. Okay, this is not something that I think I would feel very safe. Okay, getting into. Okay, Bird, what is the make? Bohayu. I actually want to look up Bohayu. Not listed. Yeah, it's weird. Like you don't have a listed company, and this is $119. This freaking sword. You don't know what the hell you're gonna get. Gold plated sword. You have to be very careful with the prices that you're shopping for. What you're shopping for. You're not. Look at this. $98, and there's no name. It just says full tang handmade katana samurai sword for 98.99, and you could probably get it in a week. Okay. No name. It's called the Dark Knight. I mean, by the pictures, it looks okay for the most part. But other than that, I mean, really, what are you getting? Okay. So you have to be very careful with what you're shopping with on Amazon. Okay. Bohayu is actually a company that Samurai Bird he touts on his channel. He uses a lot of them. He has many Bohayu swords, and originally he had bought them from Amazon. But then now they have a website and that you can actually shop with, and you can get a sword from them direct from their website. But I think it's a little cheaper getting it from Amazon. But that's an exception. Not every sword on Amazon is a cheap mess, and you have to be careful with. You have to really get recommendations from other people, look at YouTube, see what people buying on Amazon, and then you got to take your chance with them. Okay, so be very careful with what you're getting from Amazon. There's a lot of cheap crap out there, and you don't know what you're buying. I mean, if you just want to get something to beat the shit out of, I mean, go get a $98 sword. I mean, who cares? If it breaks, it breaks. You know, you get through with it as long as you can. So you just have to do your research, guys. You have to know what you're buying. You have to know the price point that you're dealing with. So let's go into the chat room a little bit because I'm going to probably close this off pretty soon. I want to see if there's any conversations you guys want to have. Yeah, Bohayu, exactly it. I mean, you have to basically see what other people are reviewing. Oh shit, that sucks. You have to see what other people are reviewing. Bohayu happens to be sold on Amazon, and it happens to be actually a very good sword make. And Samurai Bird is very happy with them. He demonstrates. He doesn't just talk about it. He uses them. He cuts with them. He shows you that it's a good sword. So that's how you what you have to go by. You know, colored blades are horrible. Colored blades are just not only are they a complete break from any traditional elements of a original Nihanto. It's just cheesy and just a corny, over embellished. You know, it's fantasy style. I don't like colored blades at all. I really don't. I really don't like colored blades. Oh yeah, Munetoshi. Yes. Okay. Hold on a second. Munetoshi. I forgot to mention Munetoshi. Thanks, Ryan. Share screen. All right, here's your Munetoshi. Munetoshi is actually real. It's sold from Swords and Armory, which is another great company for you to shop for swords. They have also Hanwei. Munetoshi is a great sword. Okay, this is a 189. Actually, let me go with the better ones here. 398 Munetoshi Raiden. Okay, really nice sword. Okay, Munetoshi is actually the Viper series, the Unikobi Zakuri is really good. Munetoshi actually makes some really good swords, and you could get that from Swords and Armory. Okay, that's definitely another good place for you to shop for swords and go with Munetoshi. Munetoshi is the brand. Is Swords and Armory's brand is Munetoshi. I don't think it's sold anyplace else but in Swords and Armory. But listen, if you want an overall place for you to shop for swords, you just got to shop at where is it? Cultivatina is pretty much a one-stop shop. They sell everything. They sell all different makes, high quality to low quality or medium quality. Cultivatina is a great resource. They pretty much have some of the best prices. You definitely, if you want to buy Hanwei, you go with Cultivatina. You definitely don't go with Cast Liberia because you're going to get ripped off like crazy. Go with Cultivatina to get pretty much a great selection of many different swords. They actually just did their website over again, And I think Cultivatina is definitely a great resource as far as shopping around for a sword. But yes, Ryan, Munatoshi is definitely a great freaking sword make from Swords and Armory. I actually bought my Hamri Practical XL from Swords and Armory. Yes, Munatoshi's good. Great handling, yes. It's a great. That's what I've heard, Ryan. I've ever had held the Munatoshi before. I know Ken, Backyard Samurai at that point. Now he's Backyard Knife Dude. Ken has had some Munatoshi Vipers he's been pretty happy with. I know that Eric Hussein has a Munatoshi Viper that he's extremely happy with. They do make very, very good swords. And again, goes into that quality price point, $300, $400 price point. Again, going back to that price point is where you're going to find a good, well-made sword, very nimble in the hands, put together well, good fit and finish, good steel, going to stand through the, going to last through cutting and things like that and practicing. That's the price point you're looking at, and that's Munatoshi pretty much right there. Not sure, Garen. Not sure. Not sure. I think they are. I would have to look that up. Oh, you have the Ito sword. Okay, call. Yeah, okay, pretty nice. Yeah, no, they're definitely a good sword make. They're definitely a good sword make. There's a lot of good sword manufacturers out there, guys. There's a lot of crap, but there's a lot of good ones out there too. I mean, you got to compare, you know, prices and compare steels and see what you want. And you got to shop around and compare websites and you got to look at reviews and you got to look at demonstrations. When you're shopping around for a katana, the problem is you can't walk into a store and hold it in your hand and try it out like you can in Japan. In Japan, you can go to certain stores and they have like a separate outdoor area where you can kind of try it before you buy it and all that. But that's for like the IDO customers. But I digress. You can't physically hold a sword and see if you like it. So you have to go by other people's recommendations. You have to go reviews from sword manufacturers, from I'm sorry, from YouTubers, and see them demonstrate the sword and see them talk about the sword and see how they perform. Okay, so that's how you need to shop around for katana. So that's why you have to be very educated. You have to do your research and you have to know what you're getting into. I'm hoping that a lot of these companies that I displayed for you on this video, I'm hoping you learned something new. And if you didn't, maybe I reinforced something you already know. But I'm sure this is going to be reruns to a couple different people, and they're going to hopefully take this as a resource video that they can use to kind of get into the approaching the katana market with a little bit more education and maybe a good starting point as far as what they need. But I can't emphasize enough, guys. Educate yourself, know what you want, know what you're looking for, and then you saw shot. And once you know what you want and you know how katanas should be made and what you need for certain purposes in terms of the steel and the fit and finish, then that's when you can start getting into shopping around seriously into different websites and comparing products back and forth. And I'm hoping that you get some use out of whatever I did in this live today. And I know there's a lot of chats going on in the chat room, so you could definitely take a look at the chat room as well. But anything else you guys for me? You guys have for me here? And again, let me just go around the room. We got Carl still in the room. Ryan, I don't know if I had said hello to you. I know I commented on your comment. Thanks for joining me, guys. Garen's been here from the very beginning. I don't know if Samurai Bird's still here. Almond Sweatpants is here. Dynamo is here. I'm hoping JD is here. We got Eric in here at one point. I know he's working. We got Grugs in the room. We got Yoto in the room. Mr. G was in the room at one point, expanding my horizons. Yes. YouTube Punk was in the room, and I think and Serp was in the room too. Matthew Jensen kind of came in and came out. I know he was doing a live himself. Thanks, Matt, for coming in. I don't know if he's still here. Okay, Samurai Bird is here. So that's it, guys. Any other questions? Anything you guys want to kind of because I'm going to probably closing this off. Research all the yes, research all the companies discussed. Thanks, buddy. I tried. I know I talk a lot and I drift a lot. I'm trying to kind of keep it on the chat room and get the websites and the screen shares working. My camera wasn't working in the beginning, so I'm glad I got that going eventually. But guys, do your research, educate yourself, and go buy some swords, man. Have a great time. It's a great time to get into katana because there's so many different options out there. There's so many venues you can go with. There's so many good forges that are making some really good quality products, and there's so many different price ranges you can get into. You can get into the $100 price point and still have a good beater katana or sub 100. But if you want something better, 300 to 400 beautiful swords. You want to get into something even better than that? 500 to 800, fantastic swords. You want to be a big ass? $1,000 to $5,000 sword. There's so many options out there, guys. As long as you go in educated and knowing what you're doing and watch channels like mine. And if anybody's in the room that's not sub, please get me a sub. Trying to get to my 1,000 sub count, and I'm getting close, but definitely want to get into that. I could do a lot more for you when I'm into 1,000 sub count. But I love a sub and like my video. Please don't forget to like and sub if you're in the room still. But watch channels like mine, Matthew Jensen, Carl Ruger, Eric Hussein, Samurai Bird, everybody that's pretty much as gracing their presence into the room. Neo, thanks for joining me, buddy. And grow bamboo. Yes, Samurai Bird said grow some bamboo because bamboo, guys, is fucking fun to cut, man. Bamboo is really a lot of fun to cut. So if you have a means of growing bamboo in your neck of the woods or your backyard, definitely grow some bamboo because that's definitely a lot of fun to cut. So I thank you. I thank each and every one of you for joining me on this live. I'm hoping it was productive. I'm hoping you got something out of it. I'm hoping if you're watching this after it's rerun that you're going to get some good information out of it. And if you have any questions, I'll try to help you as much as I can. And maybe I'll follow up this video with some of the comments I get, pretty much from this video here. And again, so Carl Ruja, Ryan, Garen, YouTube Punk, Serp, Garen, Neil One, Almond Sweatpants, all you guys, I love each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me on this live. I am very appreciative for your comments and for joining in on the conversation. Very much appreciated, guys. I'm going to play my intro video again and I'm going to close it off. Love each and every one of you. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you for joining me on my live on my Katana workshop. Love you all. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for sticking with me all this time. Peace out.